There is a little jar in your cupboard right now. Garlic powder, $4, maybe $4.50. It is half empty. It is 11 months old. And when you open it, what you smell is dust. I know, because I bought those jars for years too. 2 large heads of garlic cost me about $1. 12 ounces of onion, about $1 more. $2, one oven, one Sunday afternoon, and I fill 3 jars. Garlic powder, onion powder, and a third one that most people tip straight into the bin without ever knowing what they had. You will not buy anything for this. Not a dehydrator, not a spice mill, not a special tray. You need your oven, a blender, a fine mesh strainer, a wooden spoon, and any jar with a lid that seals. That is the whole list. And I will tell you in a few minutes why the people who sell drying machines will never say that out loud. My name is Maya Sato. I am 58. I was raised by my obachan in an old wooden farmhouse in the mountains of Nagano, and I have dried the garden's vegetables every autumn since I was a girl, standing at her elbow. Hoshiyasai, we called it. 50 years of it, 4 parts. The cut, the slow oven with the spoon in the door, the burst and rest grind, and the sieve, which is where the 3rd jar comes from. Do it once on one afternoon, and you will not buy either powder again this year, not because you are being thrifty, because yours will be better. Let me start with the thing most people get wrong, because if you miss it, nothing after it will hold. Drying is not cooking. You are not roasting the garlic. You are not caramelizing the onion. You are pulling water out and leaving the flavor behind. And that is all that is happening. An onion is about 90% water. Garlic is closer to 60%. That is the whole reason the onion sits in the oven an hour longer than the garlic does. Low heat, long time, and air that is allowed to leave. So, the cut. For the onion powder, you want 1.5 medium yellow onions, or 2 small ones, about 12 ounces. Peel off the dry outer skin. Trim the root and the top, and those go in the compost bucket, not the bin. Then chop the onion into 1/4-inch pieces, not slices, little squares about the width of a pencil eraser. Do not soak them and do not leave them sitting wet on the board. Water is the enemy of this whole job, and every drop you add is 20 minutes you have to take back out later. Now, the garlic. 2 large heads. Lay each clove flat. Press it once with the flat side of your knife, and the skin comes away in one piece. Then slice the cloves. Slice, do not chop, 1/8 of an inch thick, thin as a coin. Thin and flat dries evenly. Small and lumpy stays damp in the middle and burns at the edge. Each one on its own tray. Single layer, pieces not touching. Glass if you have it. A sheet pan lined with parchment if you do not. The second part, the oven, and the spoon in the door. 300 degrees. Middle rack. Both trays go in together. Garlic above, onion below. And here is the piece almost nobody does. Wedge a wooden spoon in the oven door so it stays open about 1 inch. All that water has to go somewhere. Shut the door tight, and the steam stays in the box with the food, and you are not drying anything. You are stewing it slowly at 300 degrees. The garlic comes out at 1 hour and 30 minutes, pale gold and light in your hand. The onion needs 2 hours and 30 minutes. By the 1.5 hour mark, the sharpness is gone, and your kitchen smells sweet, close to the bottom of the rice pot when the timer clicks. Then the test that decides whether your powder lasts a year or clumps in a week. Take 1 piece out. Let it sit 60 seconds on the counter, because a hot piece is always soft. Then bend it. It should snap. If it bends, it is not finished. Back in for 15 to 20 minutes and test again. Then cool everything completely. 30 minutes. Warm pieces put steam in your blender, and steam makes a wet powder. Now, the machines. A food dehydrator is $80 at the cheap end and over $200 at the other, and every single one of them is a box that holds warm air and lets it out again. Your oven is a box that holds warm air. The wooden spoon is the letting out part. That is the entire difference. It is worth $200 to the people who make the boxes, and nothing at all to you. But the part I want you to stay for is the third jar, not the garlic powder, not the onion powder, the one that comes out of the sieve that everybody throws away. My own daughter did not believe me about it until she made it in her apartment in Tokyo. The third part, burst and rest. A blender is all you need. If yours has a crush ice setting, use it. If not, use the highest speed you have. One ingredient at a time, and start with the onion because it is milder and it will not haunt what comes next. 20-second bursts, 10 seconds of rest between them, 4 or 5 rounds. Those rests are not for you. They are for the motor and for the powder. A blender running straight through heats the blade. Heat brings the oil out of the garlic and oily powder cakes in the jar. Then wait. 2 full minutes with the lid still on before you open it, or you will lose half of it as a cloud in your kitchen. I learned that the loud way. You want it light, dry, and pale. Onion powder is nearly white. Garlic powder is a shade darker, like sand. Wipe the jar dry between the two and grind the garlic exactly the same way. 4th, the sieve. Pour the onion powder into a fine mesh strainer set over a bowl and tap the side of it. Tap. Do not push it through with a spoon, or the grainy bits go through with it and your powder is grainy. What falls through is your onion powder. What stays behind is flakes, and that goes in a bowl, not the bin. Same with the garlic. Now put both lots of flakes together, stir them, spread them on a tray, and give them 20 more minutes at 300 degrees. Cool them. That is your third jar, a garlic and onion flake seasoning, for the top of a soup, into a marinade, over a roast potato. You cannot buy the same thing for under $6. Nothing ever left my Oba-chan's kitchen in a bin. I have never found a better way to run mine. Last, the jars, glass, clean, and bone dry. Hold one up to the light, and if you see any haze of moisture inside, dry it again. Old Spice jars are perfect. Fill them, close them tight, and write the name and the month on the lid. Sealed in a dark cupboard, away from the stove, not the cabinet above it, that one is warm and steamy. Onion powder and garlic powder keep a full year, and they are at their best in the first 6 months, the flake blend the same. And if it cakes in the first week, it simply was not dry enough. Spread it back on the tray. 15 minutes at 300, cool it, jar it again. It is not lost. So what did it cost? $1 of onion, $1 of garlic. 4 hours of an oven you were heating on a Sunday anyway. Out of it comes about a 1/4 cup of onion powder, 3 or 4 level tablespoons of garlic powder, and the flake jar. In the store, that is 3 jars at $4, $12. And by spring, the oldest one smells like dust. So let me say the whole thing once more, slowly, so you can write it down. 12 ounces of onion chopped 1/4 inch, 2 large heads of garlic sliced 1/8 of an inch, single layer, separate trays, pieces not touching, 300 degrees, middle rack, a wooden spoon holding the oven door open 1 inch, garlic out at 1 hour 30, onion out at 2 hours 30, A cooled piece must snap, not bend. If it bends 15 to 20 minutes more, cool 30 minutes. Blend one at a time, 20-second bursts, 10-second rests, 4 or 5 rounds, then wait 2 minutes before you lift the lid. Sift through fine mesh. Tap. Never push. Keep the flakes, mix them, 20 minutes more at 300. Dry jars labeled dark cupboard. 1 year, best in the first 6. By tonight, there are 3 labeled jars on your shelf. The kitchen smells sweet and savory, in a way no candle has managed. And the $12 the spice aisle was taking from you every few months stays where it belongs. It cost you $2 and an afternoon. Now tell me yours. Every kitchen has one trick nobody taught the person who uses it. Write yours below and tell me where you are watching from. I read every one, and the whole method with the times and the temperature is written out at the top of the comments so you do not have to pause the video. Next time, an egg, a cup of cold water, and the one thing about your stove you have been paying for without knowing it. Until then, waste nothing and take care of your kitchen, and it will feed you well. $2 of onion and garlic, 300 degrees. Spoon in the door, snap, not bend. Blend and sift. That is the whole thing in one sentence.